Let's get this straight. You've wanted to understand tarot, but every time you look at the cards, it feels like a lot. This is where we're going to simplify it. In this series, we're walking through the major arcana together, card by card, so you can actually learn it without feeling overwhelmed. And we're starting at the very beginning with the Fool, because tarot doesn't start with experience, it starts with a leap. Before we get into these cards, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can follow along with this series. All right, let's start at the beginning. The Fool. When this card shows up, it indicates new beginnings, taking a leap, and stepping into the unknown. If it comes in reversed, it can indicate hesitation, fear, or holding yourself back from getting something started. Some real life association with this card can look like starting something new without having everything figured out, just the optimism that you can. The reversal on that energy looks like overthinking the first step or waiting till everything feels perfect. Now it's time to talk about the feelings of this card. I want you to just quiet your mind for a moment and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. A new beginning guided by trust, curiosity, and fearless openness. So, what does it feel like to have opportunity, freedom, originality, spontaneity, curiosity, and the trust that it will just work out? Take a breath. Notice how that feels. Now, reset and listen to this next statement. Hesitation or recklessness, blocking your ability to move forward with trust. Take another breath and notice the shift in this feeling. Where in your life have you felt the poor judgment, indecision, recklessness, the negligence, in your head a little bit too much about how it's going to look, that vanity of it all? You want to have all the answers before you step, but unfortunately, unless you step, you won't have any answers. Give yourself just a moment to sit with the energy of this card. Now it's time for us to move our focus to the next card. The Magician. This is action, confidence, and using what you already have. In reverse, this can be self doubt, lack of direction, or not using your full potential. Real life with this card, it looks like taking initiative and making something happen. Reversal energy on this card is going to look like holding back, second guessing, or feeling unsure where to start. Think about those times that you did take the initiative. How do you manifest? What is it like to take action? How does it feel to move with confidence, to reclaim your personal power, to know that you have the skill to get it done? Now, we also understand the reversal of lack of direction, the bad judgment or feeling insecure, the untapped potential where we are all walking with such untapped potential. How do we turn that around? Self doubt. That's definitely something that keeps us in lack of fulfilling our manifestations. So now that we've covered kind of the real life aspect of this card, I want to touch on more emotional. How does this card feel? So I want you to quiet your mind and check in with your emotions as I read this next statement. You already have everything you need. It's time to take aligned action and make it real. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how does that feel? All right, take another deep breath as we shift the energy a little bit as I read this next statement. There's a disconnect between intention and action or power, being misused or doubted. Notice the difference of that energy. Now, I want you to just take a moment to sit with the energy of this card. Once again, it's time for us to take our focus to the next card, the High Priestess. This is intuition, inner knowing, and stillness. Reverse, this can be disconnection from your intuition or second guessing yourself. In real life, this card looks like trusting that gut feeling. You know the one. Reversed, this looks like ignoring your instincts or looking outside yourself for the answers, not trusting that gut feeling. Think about those times that you just had that inner knowing when your intuition was on point, when your subconscious had the answers before you were even aware of them. At the same time, we can recognize the times in our life where we have felt disconnected. Our intuition seemed blocked. We were living in a world of self doubt, all of that inner confusion on whether this gut feeling means something. It's a misalignment. Now, to quiet your mind and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. The answers you're seeking aren't outside of you, they're already within you. Take a breath. Did you notice the feeling of calm or clarity with that statement? Okay, we're going to be switching it up for just a moment while I read this next statement. You're either ignoring your intuition or struggling to hear it through the noise. Notice, did that feel different than the first statement? Ask yourself where or how those two statements felt differently. Once again, it's time to sit with the energy of this card for just a moment. Moving right along with the Empress, this is growth, nurturing, and abundance. Reversed, this card can be burnout, overgiving, or feeling disconnected. In real life, this looks like caring for something and allowing it to grow. Reversal, it will look like giving too much without receiving. Think about those times in your life where you were excited to nurture something, where the security and self love felt so abundant. You had the ability to create. People came to you for sound advice, and you knew you were building something, some kind of future, that belief in yourself. Now, how about those times that you neglected to take care of yourself? You fell out of line with that innate nurturing ability. It was burnout, overgiving, the uncertainty of what you have the ability to create, or if you even had the energy to create. And at that, where was your creativity? You didn't have energy to take care of yourself, your loved ones, or to even dream about what you wanted to create for your future. Now, quiet your mind and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. Something needs to be nurtured. What you give your energy to will flourish. Take a breath. Feel into that statement. Now, we're going to switch it up a little bit. There's an imbalance in giving, either neglecting yourself or overextending your energy. Do you notice the contrast? Take another breath in and sit with the energy of this card for just a moment. Let's keep going. On to the Emperor. This is structure, stability, and leadership. In reverse, this can be control issues, rigidity, lack of structure, or abuse of power. Real life, this will look like setting boundaries, creating stability, being a fair leader. Reversed, this will look like things are being too controlled or not giving people enough support. Think of those examples of fair authority, the structure that held it together, secure and successful. Somebody you could trust to lead you in the right direction. Sure, there was discipline, but it was fairly balanced with protection. That's a powerful leader. Think about those times under poor leadership. There was power struggles, immaturity. It was more about domination than leadership and probably didn't feel very protected. It's time to quiet your mind and check with your emotions while I read this statement. The creation of order through personal power, firm boundaries, and logical strategic action. Take a deep breath. Notice the feeling of stability. Now we're going to be shifting, and I want you to check in with your emotions while I read this statement. Control is either slipping or being forced in a way that creates imbalance. Did you notice how they felt differently? It's time to take a deep breath and sit with the energy of this card for just a moment. And now we'll move on to the Hierophant. This is tradition, guidance, and learning. Reversed, this can be questioning beliefs or breaking away from tradition. In real life, this looks like learning from a teacher or a mentor. It could also look like following a system or traditions, sometimes religions. Reversed, this looks like doing things your own way or rethinking what you've been taught. It looks like questioning your beliefs, testing what you've just always been told to believe. Think about those times where you have found that perfect mentor, where you're eager for the higher learning or you feel welcomed in a known tradition. The spiritual guidance comes through, there's a confirmation of your beliefs. It brings a certain amount of comfort. Think about those times where you started to question what you've always been told to believe, searching for that personal truth. Some people think you might be being a little erratic, but there's the intrigue of learning something new. It's non-conforming, sure. Little bit rebellious, definitely. Breaking traditions can be looked at in many different ways, but you have to find what you are in sync with. It's not about the traditions of yesterday. What is it that drives your tomorrow? It's time to quiet your mind and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. You're being guided to follow a path rooted in tradition, wisdom, or spiritual truth. Take a breath and feel the alignment with your belief system. Now, we're going to shift that energy. Take a breath while I read this statement. You're being called to question the rules and break away from what no longer aligns. Do you feel the difference in those energies? Now, I just want you to sit with the energy of this card for a quick moment. Let's continue on to the lovers. This is alignment, connection, and meaningful choice. In reverse, this can be misalignment, confusion, or avoidance. Real life, this looks like choosing what truly feels right for you. The real life reversal of this energy might look like feeling unsure about your choices, disconnected, or avoiding a decision. Think about those times that you felt really aligned with your choices. You really trusted and everything felt like it was in harmony. There was connections, unions. This isn't about finding the eternal love, but this is knowing how the right choices will lead you to that harmony. How about those times in life that you weren't so sure about your choices? There was the misalignment, confusion, doubt, and avoidance. Everything in disharmony and just feeling so frustrated. Here is where I'm going to ask you to quiet your mind and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. You're being called to choose what truly aligns love, values, and deeper connection. Take a deep breath. Did you notice the clarity? Now, we're going to be shifting that energy. Take a deep breath as I read this statement. There's misalignment, either within yourself or in a connection that is out of sync. Did you notice a difference in those energies? Okay, it's that time where we're going to pause, breathe, and sit with the energy of this card for a moment. And now we'll move to the final card of this video, the Chariot. This is movement, focus, and determination. Reversed, this can be feeling stuck, lack of direction, or being pulled in different ways. In real life, this looks like moving forward with control and purpose. But in reverse, it might look like trying to move forward, but feeling blocked or scattered. Think of those times where you have felt that focus, that determination. You're in control. You can see the victory, and you know it just needs that forward momentum. What about those times in life where you were just feeling stagnant, stuck? You had little control to no control. There was almost an aggression because there was felt no direction and really a lot of defeat or the lack of self discipline to create the momentum. It's time to quiet your mind and check in with your emotions while I read this statement. Being called to move forward with focus and determination. Stay aligned and don't lose control of your direction. Take a breath. Feel that forward movement. Now, we're going to be shifting. So take a breath and feel the energy as I read this next statement. You may feel pulled in different directions, losing control, direction, or momentum. Did you notice the difference in those energies? It's time for another deep breath and sit with the energy of this card for just a moment. And that wraps up the first part of the journey. Take a moment to notice which card stood out to you the most. Your energy is probably being called to that card for a reason. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informational. Go ahead and subscribe, like, leave a comment. You know all the things to do. Um, but yeah, I'll see you with the next one. Thank you.